Hello, Sula here from MistyHilltops.com. Thanks for stopping by. In this episode, I'm working on a 5x7 two-page spread for my Autumn 23 mini album, and I titled this page Cocoa and Pretzel. I'm using the digital version of the collection Welcome Autumn by Carta Bella and lots of stamps and dies. So I'm starting with two pieces of pattern paper that I printed and then cut. And they're supposed to create kind of a strip from top to bottom of the page there. And in the center, I'm placing a piece of solid colored cardstock. This solid colored cardstock is there to serve as a photo mat as well as my title. Not my title, but also my title, but my journaling. So here I am, before I'm actually gluing it down, I'm preparing it for the stamping. I do prefer to stamp before I glue anything onto the page, because anything glued onto the page will make the stamping background in ways uneven. Like the glue might not be applied in equal ways or in even ways, or there might be something on the back side of the page, whatever it is. In this case, this is an album where I have the pages back to back, but they're not glued together, so I could easily just flip it open. But even then, because of the fold in the center, then the center would come off a little, and that would make it more difficult. So I do, as a habit that I have, when I glue something, I make sure that, or when I stamp something, I make sure that it's stamped before I actually put it onto the page. It makes life so much easier doing it that way. So now that I have the stamp already added there, now I can add this strip to the page, but I am being careful not to touch where I have just stamped, because depending on the cardstock that I use, it takes a little while for the ink to dry, and so I try to avoid smudging things there and touching them too much. A lot of times I do end up making a little mess there, but I think with this one I actually managed to do without the mess. So then I had this little piece that I wanted to have, it's like a bracket label, so I just used one of my die cuts to cut it out. And then I have this little embellishment piece that's the pumpkin, and you see the sunflowers there already as well, on the side there. These are just stamps that I then colored, and I think for those I actually used my felt markers. So I just used different to give a bit of a tone and things like that. And create shades. I used some of my felt markers there. Often I do stuff with watercolor, but in this case I like that the marker made the colors really pop. So anyways, now I am ready to add the photos there, and I am using this tiny little frame. It's a die cut frame, and I made sure when I print my photos, I make sure that this one is actually the size that will fit that frame. So I have created like a template and a Word document where I can just pull in the pictures and replace them. The existing pictures are now placeholders, and all I need to do is just pull in the pictures, and they're in the sizes that match my frames and things like that from my die cut sets, and so that makes my life pretty easy that way. Now I'm adding the title. I have already added the cup there that also has a little stamped sentiment, and now I'm adding the title, which says a cocoa, and I use one of my alpha dies for that. But you see, I'm starting the gluing actually from the back, because there's enough space going to the left, but I wanted it to basically be flush with the cup and that other embellishment there. That other embellishment that you see there at the bottom actually is a silhouette cut. I'm not sure who exactly, I just got it from the silhouette store, I should say. I'm not sure if it's actually Silhouette who put it out, but it's actually for a cut. But what I did is just I filled it with color and then printed it with basically a background to it, and so it becomes a label that way. I like to do that sometimes with some of the cuts that I have, or the cutting pieces that I have in my silhouette library. So they can be used in many different ways. You don't only have to use them as cuts, but you can have them as prints as well. So, and obviously this one normally would be the size of a planner or something, but I just reduced it to make it so small that it becomes a label. Now here I have this piece of cardstock. It's just from one of my scrapbooking cardstocks there, and it turned out that blue really matched the blue of the plaid that I'm using on this pattern paper there, and so I wanted to have this as a little mat. Again, I'm using the idea of using a mat here to then place my embellishments, my photos and things like that there. So here you see now I'm ready to add that little sunflower there. Well, so little it's not, because I am using full-size things for my smaller, because I always scrap small scale. So anything is easy for it to appear pretty big. So now I have put that other pattern paper there as a background, and on top of that now I am gluing the photo. And it's 2 photos. These are pretzels, and but then I remember that I had that wooden cutting board, and so yep, I started gluing things before I can actually fit it, but I remembered, luckily I remembered early enough to pull it off while the glue was still not completely dry. This glue does dry fast, which I like, but it's still not like double-sided tape where once you put it down, it's pretty much you've committed. I like with this glue you can still move things around just a little bit, and then have a couple of about half a minute or so to move things around in case you need it, but it doesn't just slip and slide around. The glue is not liquid enough, I guess I should say. So then I have a few more embellishments here, and then I created, instead of using a real ribbon, I used from one of my dies that it will create something that looks like a ribbon. And then here I have the title for this page, and this one I decided to go and run from top to bottom there, and that's what I have to do now. I have to glue that down, the title, and then I decided to put that on the mat there. I was looking if I should put it maybe underneath the photos, but I felt it was a good place to put it right there. And then basically what I am left to do is to add some more word strips that I usually will add to my pages. And I make these word strips available as freebie on my blog, mistyhilltops.com, because there's a lot of things that are available for download. There are digital scrapbooking kits that you can use just the way that I'm using this one. This is actually from a physical collection, but what I love about Carta Bella and Echo Park Company, that they have all their products available as digital downloads as well, which works for me because I live where you don't have easy access to these kinds of products, and I like to buy them when they're on sale, and so I have a whole bunch of these products, but what I love about them is that I can resize them to fit my needs, especially if someone is a small-scale scrapper. That works really well. So now here you see me add those word strips, and I usually try to create something like a visual triangle. Doesn't always work, but yeah, that's how far I'm going this time, and I will leave you with some more close-ups once I'm done with adhering all the word strips. And so you'll see some more close-ups of this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.